Hey everybody, it's Cody here from Some Guys Gaming, your one-stop shop for everything awesome. I'm sorry about the audio quality of my voice in the last episode. Um, the microphone on my recording software automatically switched over to my webcam instead of my headset. So the audio quality is not awful by any means. It's just it sounds a little bit more airy, atmospheric, I guess you can call it. But on here, you get a direct, loud, high quality voice. All right. So last episode, we got to meet everybody in the literature club, and we joined, and we got to write a poem. So everybody's gonna have to read a poem, and I guess I had to choose words that went with the girls on the club, and I think I spread it out across the board fairly evenly. Okay. All right, let's get back into it. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha 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 ha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back in the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Cody. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not really accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you just plan to come here and hang out for or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Mm-mm-mm. Natsuki finds herself between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Cody always gives the best. As long as he's having fun, he helps me with busy work without even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy, it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? Hehehe. You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come you and Cody can become good friends? How come you and Cody can be good friends too? I didn't see the question mark there, so I just like strung it all together in one sentence. It sounded weird. I'm sorry. Sayori? Hmm? As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know? But wait, Sayori, me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place, so any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I hate how manga and anime does that. Like, it is. No. They have that stutter at the start of a sentence. It just, like, say it. Yeah, it won't make a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright. Well, here. Yuri reaches in her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This, just, I'm gonna quit doing that. I'm just gonna say the word. This is. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I liked, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a bit more, but at the same time I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Ah, crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. And this is how it always starts in anime. Uh, but that only makes her hide her face deeper in her books. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so. That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I just wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious how come you have two copies of the same book. Ah, well, when I stopped by the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear it. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? Oh, sorry. What's it about, anyways? Well, Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright, I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about a girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as does, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escape from a human experiment prison, and while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships, and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of dark, isn't it? Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came out of nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing? No, it's not that. I mean, I could definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so she's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. I could not say that. It's just those kinds of stories. They challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective when horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals and their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you get through, you're related to the protagonist. They're made out to be the naive one for letting their one sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. Ah, that's, that's true. In fact, might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. Ha, what are you saying? Just a moment ago you were saying you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieve the book I had to put in my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Ah, yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry, that's not, I don't want you to, I just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see, well just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright, open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company, as if I could feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, might be a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. Looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? They are taking a long time to build this character, which is cool. It's a good thing. So, I mean, it's just like this episode's going to be focused all on her. I do. I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean, here, sh this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them. Ah, I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders were almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess it makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. Ah. I do the same thing with my right arm on the right side of the book. When I turn a page, Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddling even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me, as if I could feel the warmth of Yuri's face as she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? Eh? What? To turn the page. Ah, sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. Ah, that's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. Probably the least I can do. Are you calling me stupid? No, I'm just kidding. Since you've been so patient with me, yeah, I did it again. I just see words and I gotta read them. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. Volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri? This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid to, or like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of like reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remains silent for a moment, but Cody, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. That's so embarrassing. You think of that. Wait, I didn't mean to be a bad way or anything. I'm sorry. I just didn't know you're so self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I meant it's more kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. I think it's time that we share today's poems together. Okay, now that's a big thing in anime too. When two characters are about to make a big breakthrough, something always interrupts them. I mean, it happens. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Ah, Yuri exhaled, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much preference either way. In that case, I'll just read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first two chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up, I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, and slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem? Yes, I did, Monica. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everybody's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait. Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I could already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I'll do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Well, I'll show it to Yuri first since we've pretty much spent the whole episode together, I guess. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. Start. Not shart. Start. I can trust her opinion to be fair. As Yuri reads the poems, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri's first covers her mouth and then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Eh, I guess you're right. Why am I getting so nervous for? Ah ha ha ha. Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. And I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their styles very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter and they form fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, is that her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone. She sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. That Suki can be a little biased though. Biased how? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I love to share my thoughts and process behind it. Yours is a rare opportunity for her, which in itself is kind of funny. After all, it's supposed to be a literature club. Okay. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate between the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight that have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Huh. It's pretty good. What? I'm sorry, I completely didn't read that last one. I'm sorry I have terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Ah, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting's pretty. That's a relief. I also like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short. I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. Since it was the first time, I skipped one, I'm sorry. Since it was our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghost, Yuri? Uh-huh. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Cody. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you only did glance over it after all. But remember, the poems often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of her past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I haven't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. Ah, you know. I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you. Cody. Ah, me too. Saying my name over and over, it's kind of weird. Me too. Alright. Alright, so I guess we'll go to Sayori next. This is a good poem, Cody. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course, it's not that good. Kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time. Yeah, I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously, or that you wouldn't write one at all. Yeah. I'm really happy just that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you at the club room. Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See, it's like I said before. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people. That's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny she was part of the reason I joined, knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah, and I'm going to make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? This will be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm going to hold you to that. Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. Meh. We'll see about that. Dear Sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. that is really, that was pretty good. Sayori? This is just a guess, but did you wait until the morning to write this? No, I, just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit. It's a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Ah, yeah. I didn't mean to say it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? Sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast, even though you were late to school. It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. Meh, this was so much fun. Monica's the best. Ah, yeah. But next time, I won't forget. And I'm going to write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. Alright, now Natsuki. We'll leave the president to last. Cody, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. Whoa. Harsh. What do you expect me to believe? That you actually put effort into this? Do you think that I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put effort in. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then you'd read it too. Painful to think about. Fine. This is so. Let me just take a moment to talk. This is so well written and executed. The dialogue and the characters are just. This is a really good game, guys. It's free. Go download it. It's a supremely good game. Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyways. I tell you want to improve, but you're just better off trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. People don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't that the point of poems, for people to express themselves? Your writing style shouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read but hits you hard, like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can really be disheartening. Disheartening. So I decided to write about them. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but I made it fall flat on purpose. And it helps bring out that feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than realized. That's really smart. That's what I meant to be a pro. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Monica. What up, Monica? Hi, Cody. Having a good time so far? Ah, yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, If you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring it up, okay? Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. It's much better. I'm much better off going with the flow until I'm more settled in. That's kind of like me in real life. I just go with the flow. I don't get, I just go with the flow. Anyways, I want to share a poem with me. It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Ah ha ha ha. Don't worry. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But that sort of thing. But that's the sort of barrier that we all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job. I was going oh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical, like Taserface. I'm, I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I'm underestimated you. The easiest, it's the easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That's that way. It always counts when I put some effort in. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyways. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure it's nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learning by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. She's kind of hand up like this. I'm kind of trying to mimic her. So don't force yourself into writing the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Ah ha ha. Yeah. Anyways, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims not to be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Oh, good lord, this is a hole in the wall. It couldn't have been me. See, the direction the spackle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend. I'll never know I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It wasn't too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of the infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he on the other side was looking in. It's good. So what do you think? It's very free form, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, this kind of style got me pretty popular nowadays. That's it, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When I performed it out loud, it can be really powerful. Well, what was that inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyways, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes, when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try too hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about this, if you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. That's good advice. Good. Woo! Gosh. Whew, hold on. Damn it. Okay. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. Is I've it's as everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyes furrow in frustration, meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh. Did you say something? Oh no, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Oh, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Yeah. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it didn't really come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it, which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Cody did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me? I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. Ugh. Cody liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member. That's not what, you just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous. He appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice? Are you that full of yourself? No. As if I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as I started showing up. Natsuki, that doesn't involve you. I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me as they noticed I was standing there. She's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself and learn to appreciate the simple writing as more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point of making all your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out of the reader, not force them to have it figured out. Help me explain this to her. But wait, there's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meanings the most effectively. Avoiding them is not unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand it, right? Well, how did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing, but whoever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. So of course that's going to be, I'll go with her. Hey, that's not an excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because something opinion is differently. That's not what happened at all. Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. Hello? Hey. No, I just didn't go out and get anything for it. Yeah. I'll probably do it next weekend. Yeah, she got home at about 3. Yeah, they had a pretty good time. Oh, she loved it. Yeah, I got some ribeyes out now. We're gonna fix them here in a little bit. Yeah, I'll probably. Yeah, see you. Bye. Where was I? Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I understand, Yuri. Uh, you're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. Well, but here's the thing, no matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feeling into it and becoming something really personal. That's why Nasuki felt threatened and why you said her poem was cute. I see, I didn't notice that. I'm sorry. Uh, but Natsuki, you took it a little too far. Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this would have never happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did. It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things that you didn't mean. Yuri apologizes. You don't think... Don't you think you should too? Natsuki clenches her fist. In the end, nobody's taken her side. She's trapped at this point for being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up feeling bad for her. Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. Sayori, she doesn't need to. You know what? I'm going to do that. It'll spare me from having to look at all your faces right now. Without warning, Natsuki snatches her own poem from the desk and storms out. On her way out, she crumpled up the poem with her hands and threw it in the trash. Natsuki, she really didn't need to do that. I look across the... Yuri has her chins buried in her hand while staring down at her desk. I gingerly approach her and sit in an adjacent chair. Everything alright? I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. No. How can anyone have gotten frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well, alright, I believe you. Thanks. You're too kind. I stopped saying my name. I'm thankful to have a part of this club now. Nah, it's nothing. One more thing. That one thing Natsuki said about, I would never do anything so shameful. So, what did Natsuki say? Well, never mind that. I'm going to make some tea. Good idea. Make enough for more than one person, alright? Oh my gosh, are we almost done? Okay, everyone, it's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? It's a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. How about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow, and maybe learn something from your friends too. So your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself. I did learn a little more about the kinds of poem everybody likes. With any luck, that means I could at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Cody, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Sayori beams at me. Truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. Can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori? About what happened earlier. What do you mean? Between Yuri and Natsuki? Does that kind of thing happen often? No. That's really the first time I've seen them fight. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they make good friends with you. Whew, Cody. It's a nice thing I get to spend time with you in the club, but I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too. That's meh. Every day is going to be so much fun. It looks like Sayori hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. I'm sure being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Right. So I guess I write another poem. Frightening. Graveyard. Unstable. Unstable? Contamination. Jumpy. Agonizing. Well, that one's the only one. I guess the game is kind of pushing me to go that way anyways. Clouds. Lust. I just picked that one. Let's go ahead and do sing. Intellectual. Wrath. Dark. See? She likes dark. Death. And death. You see that there's something there. Dark and death. Melancholy. Misfortune. Misfortune. Tenacious. Unrequited. Let's go. Heart. Okay. Depression. That's really interesting. It really is. Let's go horror and suicide. Okay, that's where we're going to end it for this. Another day passes. It's time for the club meeting already. Okay, so we're just going to save it, and that'll be it for this episode of Let's Play Doki Doki Literature Club. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. And trust me, I enjoy making it. This game is so smart and awesome. So, like I said, it's free. Go and download it. Alright, as always, I'm Cody from Some Guys Gaming, your one-stop shop for everything awesome. And I will see you guys next time.